Alright, so morning everyone. We're going to look at how we convert pseudocode into Pascal code. Alright, so here on your screen you have a pseudocode that was created already. This file is already in the classroom, so you can download it. Alright, so we're going to do it line by line. So the first thing I have on my program in pseudocode is the start, and the last thing is my stop. So let's start our Pascal program. So here I'm using the Lazarus Pascal compiler. I'm going to go to File, New, and here I can choose Simple Program, Program, or Control Application. So in this case, I'm going to choose Simple Program. And here a template will be provided for you. I'm going to zoom in 1 minute so you can see it clear. Alright, so I can give my program a name. So let's call this question 01. And so the begin and end would be equivalent to your start and stop in pseudocode. Alright, so now you're expected to add the variables for your program. So you have one variable which is called OPER, and that's will be taking just a single letter, so we will declare that as a character. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so in Pascal, the keyword var is used to declare your variables. If you had constant in your program, you declare a constant before you declare your variables. So the first variable is my OPER. Alright, and this is of char data type. You will end your line with the statement terminator, which is in this case your semicolon. Okay. Alright, going back to my pseudocode. So my next variable, num1 and num2, and I have some num right here. So these variables will accept numbers, so I'm going to declare them as integer for this example. So I have, let's go and copy them. Num1, num2, comma, and there was some num. Alright, this technique right here, instead of you typing out your variables, you just copy them from your source file so that you don't make any spelling errors. Alright, great. Let's continue. Alright, so what other variables do we have? We have one additional variable which is called diffnum. So I'm going to copy that variable also. And I think that would have covered all of my variables for my program. Great. Now the next thing in my code is my if. So I have two ifs, one if right here, another if statement right here. Now this if ends at this point, and this inner if ends at this point. So let's create my outer if. So this if, so in my program, and that is where the actual coding of your program will start. So I'm gonna say, well, first let me just copy what I have. So this is my outer if. So if operator equal A, then now I'm going to use a begin and end blocker to enclose everything in my outer if. So I'm going to say, let's type this in, begin, sorry, my spelling error, begin and end. So when this thing I like about Lazarus compiler, it automatically will close some of your statements. So this is my outer if. Alright, let's go back to my coding. So in my outer if, I have all of these. So all of this is enclosed in my outer if. Let's copy those. Alright, so let's begin now to convert into Pascal. So instead of print, I have a right ln with a bracket, and I'm using a single quotation. Alright, so I'm going to just fix all of my prints. So I'm just replacing all of my print with my right ln. Great, think that should have been all of them. Now to close your print, your right ln, you'll use a single quotation or close bracket with and then statement terminator, which is your semicolon. So let's close all of my right ln. Alright, I'm going to leave this one at the moment, soon come back to that one. Just closing all of the simple ones. Alright, great. Alright, so your right ln will have single quotes instead of double quotes. So let's go through all my right ln and replace all of my single quotes. So my double quotes with single quotes. One right there, one right there, one right there, one right there, one right there. And I will close my statement with a bracket and the semicolon. I'll do it just the same for this right ln. And close bracket, statement terminator. Alright, so my read, well, read is valid in Pascal, but we will be using read ln instead. So read, and let's add the ln. Now there is no single quotes for your variables, so you enclose them with no quotations. Alright, so let's look at all my read and change them to read ln. Alright, and you'll close them. I'm going to remove this extra space. You'll close them with closing bracket and your statement terminator. Great. Now the equal, which is your assignment statement, in Pascal it is the colon equal, and you'll terminate your statement with your statement terminator. Let's terminate all of them. So that is terminated, and your colon equal. Alright, so I'm going to put a few errors in this program for you just to see how to do some actually debug and correction. Now all of this is in the begin and else block, so I want to align everything so it is kind of neat in your code. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so this is my inner if, and this is my outer if. Now, because in the true part of my if, I have a number of statements, I want to enclose it in a begin and end blocker so that it is treated as one blocker. So this is a begin right here. I'm going to put an end without a semicolon so that it will enclose. Do some tabbing. So it will enclose all of this, the true part of this if statement, in the blocker. Now this is the false part of my statement, so I'm going to do the same. I'm going to have a begin, and I'm going to have my n as NSD already. So all these will be treated as my false part of my outer if blocker. Alright, so now I'll come to my if block, which is in my false part. So again, to treat it as a block of statement, I'm going to enclose it in a begin and end block. So begin and end. So this is the true part of this if. Let's look at the false part now, which is another begin, and automatically Pascal will enter it for you, so I can get rid of this end if. Alright, so this is now I'm just going to neat up my code.
It is 5:05 now.
Sorry about that. So I have an if right there. The begin falls under the if. And let's tab these in. So they look a bit neat. Alright, so in the SBA, this is known as readability, where you make your program neat. Alright, so this begin lines up with this end, this else must line up with the if, and this end must line up with this begin, and end line up with this starting end right there. I think that would have completed my Pascal coding. So let's save this, click on save, and you'll give it a number, question 1, solution, and you will save your code. Alright, so let's compile my program. And so when I press the green play button, it should compile a program and run it. So let's run it. So this normally comes up, just choose OK, so we can use the DWARF3 format. Press OK. Okay, and so here we have some errors, and we want to just look at how do we fix our errors in our program. Alright, so let's see, double click on, well, alright, I wanted to show you where the error window is. Let me see if I'm seeing it right here. Okay, good, it's at the bottom right here. So all of the errors in your code will appear in the message window. Alright, so right here, the error is saying that, is syntax error, identifier num1 not found. Alright, it says this is expected, but so the error is syntax, the semicolon expected, but identifier num1 is found. So the error is always in the line or the line above it. So right here we know that the error is that I did not have my read ln. Well, this is not the error really. The error is that there is no semicolon, but the format is also incorrect because the read ln or read must be enclosed in your bracket. Let's fix that. Alright, and again we will save and we will run the program again. Alright, great. So I have no error at this point. Okay, now when you run your program, it will run off the screen totally because you need to catch the program before it closes. So what we normally do is to in your code, the last thing in your program just before your end, you will use
It is 5:10 now.
the read ln, and this will basically wait on the user to enter something before it closes. So normally we use the read ln to stop the program, and we give the user a message that says press enter to exit the program. Alright, so I'm going to save and compile again. And so this time we have coming up our okay, 1 minute, my machine taking a while to scan the file. Alright, let's compile again. And I'm seeing is there error right here. If OP are equal A, alright, let's compile again. Oh, I left out something from my program. Let's go back to my pseudocode. So I totally left out this line. So let's copy that and put it in my code. And that happens sometimes when you're copying and pasting. So I need all of this. And let's close my statement. Alright, let's save and compile again. Alright, so my program is actually scanning my code. Let's wait on it to finish scan. Alright, so now we'll have our display coming up. So enter A for addition. Once I enter A or S and I press enter, it will ask me for two numbers. So 5 plus 6, and it give me the answers. The answer you have entered the option for addition. The sum of 5 and 6 is 11, and then you get the message press enter to exit the program, and that is my program. Alright, so the aim of this class it was just to show you how you convert your pseudocode into your Pascal code. Now before we go, I'm just going to show you how to fix some additional common errors. So for example, if I had declared OPE instead of OPER and I try to compile my program, let's save that, then I'll get an error message. So let's look at my error message. It is saying that identifier OPER not found 3 times. So when double click on each of them, it will jump to that point in your program where the error is located. So all this is saying is that, so once you see the error message identifier not found, it means that this that you're trying to use was not declared in your variable section. That's one error. So let's remove the semicolon right here and see what error I will get. Let's save and compile. So the error is saying that semicolon expected but var found. So again, the error is either in the line that it is highlighting or it is in the line above. So the option is semicolon not found. That's a suggestion. Let's add back my semicolon. Let's see one more error. Let's move the semicolon right there. Save. Compile. Again, getting the same suggestion. Semicolon not semicolon expected, but read ln found.
It is 5:15
so again,
now.
the read ln is right here, so that's no problem. But the error is that it is missing at the number 12 line. Alright, so that's basically the errors that you will be getting, the most common errors. As we go through, we will fix additional errors. One mistake students tend to make in your if, you're doing a comparison. So there's no way you can use the colon because the colon equal is used for assignment. But in this case, I'm comparing what values in my OPER variable against the literal A. Alright, I hope this video will be beneficial in allowing you to convert simple pseudocode into Pascal language. Thank you for watching.